Hey, good morning. Couple things came to me this morning. I watched a video last night with Michael Jaco, and he's right about certain things that can't be seen, if you will. But I don't have a lot of time and memory on this phone, so I'm going to kick out a few things that are just real important. Okay? Native tribes have been here all the time. Okay? So it's not like we don't have the relevant information to sort of understand how this works. Okay, because my native spirit is anchored to the consciousness and the spirit of the girl on the planet. She runs the physics. Okay? But this is real simple, as I explained in a comment on his website. What creates drag? Density, mass density. Okay? What creates lift? Anti-gravity. Less density. Okay? Every pilot knows about density, altitude, lift. Okay? You got a lot of weight, you want to lift up? How do you do that? Less mass. Okay? Lifting the spirit, the light spirit body, out of the density. So what happens here is we're talking about speed of the electrons. Okay? They harvest electrons. That keeps your light down. That's a dim bulb. Negative current burns out the filament. Bye. Okay? So another element that is important to figure in all this is calendars, isn't it? If you'll notice on the planet, everything that moves, whether it's a train that's moving cargo, that's been paid for. What was it paid for? Electrons, money, currency, electrical currency. Okay? Everything travels on a time clock, doesn't it? Planes coming into the airport, delivering what? Units of consciousness, electromagnetic energy output, right? And it travels on an airplane with a pilot. Everybody represents electromagnetic energy in the output side. Okay? That means that all the timetables that are set to all the clocks on all the planet is DNA. The DNA has built-in time clocks. And those time clocks were connected to another clock. If you all think of the clock on the planet. Okay? Look at the Julius calendar. Julius Caesar, Draco, Demon. Go back to when he changed the calendar between light and darkness. Okay, when the sun comes up, sunrise, sunset. Operation Sunset, Operation Sunrise. That will tie into Kim Kogun, which is a Speak project. Okay? Got to put this together, folks. Julius Caesar changed the time clock by 7 seconds. 7 seconds. 7, 7, 7. Satan, satanic, demonic. Okay? That's seconds of what? More darkness. Okay? More darkness, more demons. What does that do? Creates an imbalance between light and dark. What does that affect? The spin rotation. Remember? The particle accelerator, hadron accelerator. Okay? The angular rotation and spin of the particle. Okay? Keeping everybody running in reverse. Instead of gaining speed, losing speed, gaining speed, losing speed. Now we're into artificial intelligence. Doesn't want people to have more information in order to do what? Raise their state of awareness, increase the speed, bringing things back into harmony and balance. Okay? So, one of the things that I mentioned is, and this has to do with functions. I've covered this before because it's extremely important. Why do you think their demonic legislative bodies came out with 60 million functions? That's the latest count that I remember when I went into a law library and figured they make money off of all these functions. To do what? Harvest electrons. These are electrical wars, which are Star Wars. Okay? So you have essentially lower evolution, okay, that is, the speed of its learning is not learning fast enough to increase what? Its speed. The speed in which electrons are powering the cells and combusting them. What do you think this shit's all about? Wake up. These are satanic rituals in order to do what? Keep the spin rotation down. They don't want to lose what it is they're harvesting off of everybody on the planet, which is electrons. They want to keep the system in place. So how do you counter that? Tell them to go fuck themselves. You don't have any control over my state of consciousness. You're a demon. This was a spiritual war, which is an energy war. Okay, over harvesting what it is that you are. Okay, so that means that there has to be enough light in this planet to do what? Increase the speed, the spin rotation, so that the human heart is being healed. That's what it is. That means they came after the human heart, because the human heart cannot be programmed, because that much light that is spinning in that vortex represents the source light from which we run a higher processor. If we run on one function, love is the law. That's what light is. That's what living light is. That means we are living spirit. It cannot control source until the source from which all love comes. Okay? That's what first law, which is love is the law, means. Which means we do no harm. Okay? So we're talking about when we get into war games and computers, okay, it's a virtual reality game. Everybody is in the game. They are in the war game between artificial intelligence and living light. So this is where people got to decide what it is that they are. Now we're back to identity function. Are you a computer? Are you an android? Are you a cyborg? Or are you living spirit and living light? If you are living spirit and living light, you can heal the heart from within you, increase and crank up the speed, and what does that do? Increases the spin rotation. Increasing the spin rotation, and those we come in contact to will raise their energy, which means we are healing each other together to raise the speed. So an information war between parasitic artificial intelligence, which is what the intelligence agencies use, and big tech out of Silicon Valley to control the states of consciousness to increase the mass of the density to prevent you from gaining lift and gaining speed. That affects the spin rotation of the galaxy. Okay? These are universe killers. So sometimes I noticed that Michael Jaco, for example, talked about certain things that he couldn't punch through. He couldn't see certain things. That's operational security. Okay? Obviously, there are certain beings that are on this planet that have, how do I put this? Well, look at it this way. I don't have many viewers, do I? Okay? Those that have large followings obviously know they're going to get cut off. So the art of the communication is important. Okay? An information war is a communication war between density consciousness, units of mass density consciousness. How fast are they going? So naturally, that's why my Facebook page got censored. I wasn't even allowed to put a video up. I wasn't even allowed to comment. What does that tell everybody? The AI does not want them to know what we know about how to win this war. Now, for me, I already know it was won because I've been on the other side of this. Okay? But that means that's my timeline. So we're talking about timeline collapse. That's what they've been trying to do. Collapse the timeline. Because that's what they are. They're demons. Which means they're dead light. They are not living spirit, living in the light of what love is. So this is where people have to look in the mirror and ask themselves, what am I? Increasing the speed means you're with everybody else in the cosmos. You get to go on forever because you know that love is the most powerful force multiplier. It knows that. So yesterday when I had the commentary with Bill Donahue, and that particular identity said to me that it was useless to argue with digital warriors, keyboard warriors. Go look at Michael Flynn on his Twitter. He had up there the red and the white, digital warriors. Then you saw the ritual that President Trump was in with the white star, the pentagram, inside the red circle with the mass, the satanic ritual. Okay? So the more beings that understand the nature of this war that they're in, it's a war game. When your data processor, as I explained in a comment to Michael Jacob, we run a faster chip. Okay? Why is that? Because I run on infinite light, which is infinite unconditional love, which is eternal living spirit that is in that light. So when you have a source connection, because my heart is connected to the heart of the girl on the planet, her state of consciousness, my state of consciousness, and the consciousness for which all the light is, which means all the data. Everything that is possible that can occur between past, present, future exists within the information field, which means all the data, all the information, which is measured as electrical potential. The electrical potential that we are using to experience who we are to power the bulb. How powerful is your bulb? Or, if you will, how dim is your headlight? Dim bulbs, big bulbs. Increasing the electrons, increasing the amount of power in your light. That means you have escaped capture from a demon. That's what it is. You escape the matrix, if you will, by simply going faster. And that loses mass density. You gain lift, and now you're in the higher spin rotation of the galaxy. Now, I experienced 2 weeks ago the light going up in the entire galaxy. That's a big sign. Okay? So this is a matter of getting the information out to realize this is an electrical war. Okay? Of harvesting electrons, harvesting souls. So this is what's known as the last harvest. Okay? So we're trying, we don't want to lose anymore, do we? So we got to get it up. Get the speed up. That means now you're running your own electrical power at a higher rate of speed. Now your state of consciousness, your state of awareness will be aware of far more things. That's why they want everybody in tunnel vision, which means you have access to less data. Less data is less information. That's what censorship is all about. That's why they burned books during World War II, which were the Nazis. The Nazis simply infiltrated, came over here, because the Nazis are in cahoots with the Draco. That's your Dark Alliance. Okay? They're interplanetary corporate pirates that pillage and plunder and harvest electricity. Energy. They're energy harvesters. Okay? So you have to decide which side of the spectrum you're on, which is a self-identity function. That's why love is a law, which is the first law, which is one function. Now you're running high-speed light. Remember? Light is not a constant. The speed of light is based on the observer, the individual. You reach autonomy, which means you are free to be who you are when you reach a certain speed. Remember, I talked about learning speed. When we measure classrooms, how fast are the students learning? And you're given a certain amount of time because we have to maintain the balance of the spin rotation. Okay? That's basic science. That's basic spiritual science of math and physics. So this is how we spin the galaxy to go a little faster. It's creating too much bag. Remember I talked about the baggage compartment? Remember in childhood, I want to get rid of as much density as I possibly can because this is not my normal density. That's why I don't have anything. Okay? You know, I live on very little. You don't need much. I've said this before, and many times you can means test this yourself by beginning to let go of all those things that represent symbolically as energy, material form, which is mass density. Everybody knows what a pack rat is. Why are they holding on to so much? Fear of losing energy. And that's why. That's what happened, because of all of the trauma. Because the universe is nothing but energy. You cannot create or destroy it. So we're talking about the difference in the speed that we're running in the energy. Because the energy represents what we are. So when you realize, listen, I'm still happy, I'm still here, I'm still alive, and I don't have anything. So I wake up in the morning in a state of love and joy, but I don't have anything. How'd you learn how to do that? By being what living light is, which is what love is in living spirit. And now when you're experiencing that, you realize that's all I ever needed. Now you know that you're forever. So you're not the matter. No. So the idea was to get people programmed into believing that they had to have more money, more matter, more material form in order to not run out of what it is they're aware of, which is themselves. Which means awareness is not matter. That's how they fooled everybody. And they got them to believe that through trauma. So they set up a money system. Okay? And they controlled it. So they were controlling the loss and the gain, the speed. Okay? Between light and dark. They changed the clock. Set up all the timetables. They were controlling the energy function on the planet. So it's time to unplug. Not anymore. I'm not giving you any energy anymore. Because you realize that they've been harvesting it off of everybody. So anyway, for what it's worth, that's my invocation for the morning. Anyway, sun's up. Beautiful day. Thank you for the energy. Be good to yourselves. Bye.